It's an experimental brewing company that may soon experience a good amount of growth. Young Buck Brewing in downtown Spokane specializes in barrel-aged sour beer styles. Deis has the details in our latest edition of Made in the Northwest.
Cameron Johnson was a few years into his career as an architect when he told his wife just before the birth of their first child he wanted to start a brewery.
It seemed like a good time to quit a steady paying gig with benefits and jump into the entrepreneurial world. And thankfully my wife is gainfully employed and incredibly supportive.
The seed for the idea of starting a brewery was planted by the owner of the Luminaria building downtown.
He approached me with this concept of opening an incubator brewery in an attached tap room where we could have upcoming brewers brew in the back and develop their skill and local account contacts over a period of about 2 or 3 years on shared equipment in a collaborative brewing space.
And with that, Young Buck Brewing was born. Johnson was in his 20s when he started it, thus the name. But now...
I'm past that barrier of 30, so we might have to change the name to like middle-aged Buck.
Johnson doesn't want to compete in the hyper-saturated market of standard beer, so Young Buck specializes in barrel-aged sour beer styles.
I thought it would be easier and more fun to set myself up as a niche brewery, to keep a lot of that home brewing spirit that got me so interested in the hobby.
The only beer Young Buck makes that's consistent from batch to batch is its Goza, a sour German wheat beer.
Very easy to drink, low alcohol.
It has a series of one-off IPAs that vary greatly, and an Oud Bruin sour brown ale, which Young Buck collaborated with Bellwether Brewing on.
Using roasted pumpkins from his backyard and then sage from my backyard.
And aging the beer in wine barrels. Using local ingredients is an important part of its beer-making process.
And we're able to use them in small batches and experiment with them and extract some amazing flavors and aromas out of there.
Young Buck's location in the Steel Barrel Tap Room with its 30 taps and attached ceviche restaurant, Zona Blanca, helps with its exposure. So will its new deal with Four Brothers Distributing.
We are going to see us in more and more places.
Young Buck's goal is to move into its own space in the next year or so and become a neighborhood brew pub. But it won't abandon its roots started here at the Incubator Brewery.
Keeps us excited and experimental and helps us to keep serving great beer.
For Made in the Northwest, I'm Deis, KXLY 4 News.